That somewhat disjointed demo was an example of the song P.Y.T. From the cover band Pack Volume 1 for MainStage version 3.7.1 or higher. I'm Eric with Patch Foundry. Let me break down what each one of those are here in just a second. Now, before we do, that MainStage concert that you see right here, it took 6 years to develop. It's awesome. There's a link to a separate video in the description where you can find out what it does. And second, this patch is not designed to sound like the original song. It's supposed to be inspired by it, and it's built using 100% stock MainStage sounds for keyboard players and cover bands. So we're trying to create the big, flashy keyboard player in a cover band vibe for this. So let me show you. Hopefully you haven't prejudged me too much, and we'll just walk through each little section here. So at the bottom, we have a DX7. Let me go ahead and solo it out. The bottom one is... So just a really nice DX7 sample. And this is in MainStage itself. But we have heavily modified it. And the advantage to having all the sounds be from MainStage is that you don't have to install any third-party content. You just literally pop open the MainStage concert once you've installed MainStage, and it works. So this thing just sounds so good. So we'll put the second channel strip in here, which is just an octave up DX7. Together, you've got this really warm, wide. That sort of a vibe to it. Then, of course, we got a little plucky stab. And this is on the offbeats. It goes 1 and 2. Like that throughout most of the verses. Or I'm sorry, yes, most of the verses. A little tired here. And then up next we have P.Y.T, which is the... So this is from quite a large amount of zoning here. And it's just a real breathy synth. It's a sample that we found, but then heavily modified, just like the DX. Then we've got the choir. Another heavily modified sample. And then some DX7s. One there, and then another there. So this is all, when you add them all up, this section sounds like this. Like that. And then the only other thing that we have up here at the very top is the, which is of course our lead. So we've got all of these elements working together. It's a ton of channel strips. But then, of course, if you play in a group that doesn't have brass, you kind of have to cover some of those frequencies. We've got you covered. So you unmute the gig brass. It comes in here. Only zoned in that upper section. So you can still play the chords down here and not worry about playing some brass stuff. That's it for the bottom, and that'll cover everything that you need, with one exception. The very intro has a very distinctive keyboard part. You can cover it down here if you're only using one board like this. Go. Which is fine. It's very close. We went ahead and mapped or recreated that sound up in the upper board here, and I'll play it for you. So you've got it there if you have two boards. The whole goal with this is so that you only have to have one if you need it, but then the second one's nice to have for the extra sounds. And that is it. Massive number of instruments here. You'd think it'd be super CPU heavy. let me break it down how CPU efficient it actually is. So for starters, I'm running this on an M1 MacBook Pro from 2020. It's 5 years old at this point. MainStage is running 128 samples, 48K, and it's recording audio, and I'm recording video all on the same computer. And I just found out I only have 6 gigabytes of sample space, or of memory space open on my computer, which you shouldn't be doing that. You should be giving yourself at least 100 megabytes of open space. So let's look, with all these channels selected, how much our CPU is getting absolutely whacked with this. So even playing like a complete idiot, you can see that the CPU load barely crested over 50% on a 5-year-old computer that's doing all this other stuff, that has all this non-optimized things going on. And the reason this does this is because we spent literally 6 years of research trying to find just the right combination of plugins that we could put together that would be very CPU efficient and still just give you this world-class performance. And then the last thing I want to point out, this is only taking 30 megabytes of RAM, 30, which means that you can stack a bunch of patches into a group here, and it's going to sound so good, and you aren't going to have any lag whatsoever. At least it's not going to be because of MainStage and causing the lag. So anyway, I'm extremely proud of this patch and this pack in general. And if you have any more questions, you can find out a lot more at patchfoundry.com, or just check the link for the descriptions. Thank you.